Hi, and welcome to this presentation of new and enhanced features in Autodesk Inventor 2017. My name is Brian Verbort, and I'll be walking you through this review. We'll start with the review of design enhancements. Next, we'll see the interoperability improvements, and we'll wrap it up with new and enhanced communication capabilities. 3D sketch commands have been revised to provide greater control and be faster and easier to use. A new 3D transform command provides a rich set of geometry manipulation tools for moving and rotating geometry quickly and precisely. New constraint types are added to provide greater control and allow you to sketch curves in 3D faces. Copy and paste supports copying and pasting in the same 3D sketch or between 3D sketches, permitting reuse of 3D sketch information for faster model creation.
Designing your products should be a fluid, natural process. The new 3D sketching tools inside Autodesk Inventor 2017 make it more intuitive to create 3D sketch geometry, so you can easily tell the software exactly what you're trying to create. When starting a 3D sketch, you'll notice a new triad that acts as a guide for creating sketch objects. When ortho mode is activated, you can use the axes on the triad to draw along the X, Y, or Z direction from the previous point, and clicking on one of the rectangles in the triad will isolate the next point to the selected plane. Dynamic dimensioning is also now supported in 3D sketch mode, so you can define the exact value for each dimension as you sketch. There are also several new options for constraining your sketch, including constraining objects to a planar or curved surface, making lines or arcs equal in length, and constraining objects to model axes or planes. And a new command is now available so you can sketch curves directly on 3D geometry. Reusing 3D sketch geometry is now easier with the ability to copy and paste inside the original sketch or between 3D sketches. Once the copy is created, the new 3D transform command makes it easy to move and rotate the object to right where you need it. With Inventor 2017, you have more control and a set of intuitive tools for creating 3D sketch geometry exactly the way you want.
A new Feature Relationships tool identifies parent and child relationships between part features. This helps you quickly understand how parameters are defined in the model and can be used to also execute or automate geometry changes. Circular patterns provide a new option for a fixed orientation to streamline modeling of circular arrays. This provides easier patterning for slotted fittings. Multi-body support is now available for both patterning and mirroring. You can now toggle the transparency of a component in the assembly without applying an appearance override. A new right-click context menu option is available in the assembly browser modeling view that lets you open reference files directly from your browser. Enhanced reporting of cross-part references within the assembly helps you more easily identify and access related parts. Several new tools were added to provide greater control when building surface geometry in Inventor 2017. Guide rails are added to the boundary patch command, and you can now use curves and points to shape the patch and more precisely control continuity and form. The ruled surfaces command has a new angle option for all surface types. The sweep option has been renamed to vector and now supports the selection of both edges and sketches to set the direction. New options in the sheet metal environment let you control the individual punch representation display. The following flat pattern overrides are added to the punch tool dialog: Show formed punch feature, Show sketch representation, Show center mark. New options, round tangent, round vertex, and square vertex have been added to the list of available corner relief types to provide more placement solutions. A flat pattern compute option has been added to the modeling tab in the document setting dialog box. And a defer update on flat pattern has been added to the file open options.
With Autodesk Inventor 2017, core design tools for part and assembly modeling, surfacing, sheet metal, and drawings include several enhancements that make it faster and easier to design and document your product. In the part modeling environment, you can now window cross-select multiple closed profiles at once when using the extrude command. And there are several enhancements to patterning. Circular patterns have an option to fix the orientation of the feature as it rotates around the axis. A new sketch-driven pattern tool lets you pattern features to points created in a 2D or a 3D sketch. And patterning and mirroring operations can now be applied to multiple bodies at once. There's also a new parent-child relationships browser that can be accessed by right-clicking on the feature in the window or in the model browser, so you can see the upstream and downstream dependencies for each feature. When designing assemblies, you can now make components transparent by right-clicking on the object and selecting Transparent from the pop-up menu. And cross-part references are easier to identify, with component names displaying next to the reference feature in the model browser, along with icons that illustrate the type of reference. There's also options to break the reference, open the assembly file the reference was created in, or to open the reference part directly. We've also made enhancements that give you more control over the creation of surfaces. You can now select guide rails when using the boundary patch command to select curves or points that guide the shape of the patch. And an angle option has been added for all types of ruled surfaces. Inside the sheet metal environment, there are 3 new corner relief options to give you more control over the placement. You can now also control the visibility of punch representations on the model, so the punch can be shown, or a sketch representation or a center mark can be used. And there's now an option to defer flat pattern updates. Drawings have also been enhanced with a new option to use a jagged line to display cut edges for partially sectioned components in a section or detail view. Column and table header rows now support text wrapping, and parts can be opened directly from parts lists in the drawing. From part and assembly modeling to surfacing, sheet metal, drawings, and more, the core modeling tools inside Inventor 2017 are better than ever and help you quickly create your product designs and documentation.
Shape Generator, initially introduced in Inventor 2016 Release 2, assists in the conceptual design of structurally efficient parts. For Inventor 2017, several improvements were made in the Shape Generator workflow, and new controls were added as additional criteria. Glyphs provide feedback on the location of fixed, pinned, and frictionless constraints. These glyphs also now appear in the stress and modal analysis environments in Inventor. Interactive controls provide for preserved region sizing and positioning. New minimum member size criteria influences the size of features in Shape Generator outputs. Users may directly assign the target mass rather than use a percentage for reduction. A new optional symmetry constraint causes outputs to be symmetrical about one or more planes.
Lightweighting your designs is a great way to improve performance and make your products more energy efficient. With Autodesk Inventor 2017, we've made some key enhancements to Shape Generator so you can quickly explore even more lightweighting opportunities. When setting up the optimization, Inventor 2017 gives you more control over how the geometry is created. Preserving regions is now more intuitive. After clicking on a surface, a triad appears so you can dynamically size the bounding box. And you can now define symmetry, so the generated geometry will be mirrored across one or more selected planes. Inside the Shape Generator settings, you have the option to reduce mass based on a percentage of the original geometry or to a specific weight. And a new option to set the minimum member size helps you avoid creating geometry that is unsuitable for your manufacturing process. After the shape is created, you can promote the mesh and use it as a template in the modeling environment. And you can now project points off the mesh into your sketch so you can more easily create the outlines for what you will cut from the design. And, as always, if you want to run further iterations, or if you want to perform a stress or modal analysis on the part, you can save time by copying the original study to preserve all the previous settings. With Shape Generator inside Inventor 2017, you have more control over how geometry gets created, so you can explore more possibilities and build efficient, lightweight products.
The Find in Browser context menu option in the tube and pipe environment is now enabled during route creation and also when placing flexible hose fittings. 2 new context menu options, Offset Point and Intermediate Point, allow you to create multiple intermediate points when you route flexible hose with fittings. This allows you to place one fitting, construct the hose, and finish by placing the second fitting. or alternatively, you can place both fittings and construct the hose, all while switching between intermediate point and offset point commands. The message dialog box that displays when you check for problematic bend radiuses has been replaced with a new Show Violations dialog box. The new Show Violations dialog box displays a tree view of spline segments where bend radius violations occur. Selecting a node in the dialog box highlights the corresponding segment in the graphics window.
The Tube and Pipe design environment in Autodesk Inventor 2017 includes several enhancements aimed at helping you design and edit your models faster. When creating flexible hose routes with fittings, you can now set multiple intermediate points as you design the route, prior to placing the second fitting. And a new Show Violations dialog box is available that displays a tree view of spline segments where bend radius violations occur, with selected nodes highlighting the corresponding segment right inside the model window. To help you quickly identify components in the model browser, the Find in Browser command is now enabled within routes. And the Change Fitting Diameter command has also been extended to flexible hose routes, so you can change the diameter of one or more fittings in a single edit. These enhancements in Inventor 2017 make it faster than ever to create and edit flexible hose routes in your designs.
Inventor 2017 supports high-resolution 4K monitors. Icons and dialog boxes throughout the application take advantage of the larger screens at 4K resolution. Several new shortcuts speed up common tasks and allow you to customize Inventor for your specific workflow. You can now configure shortcuts for visibility, transparency, routed system commands, and more, in addition to the prior commands. Graphic scene adjustments have been made to compensate for luminance and brightness. Significant enhancements were made to the reference model update behavior for CATIA, SOLIDWORKS, NX, and ProE Creo files. Increased support for multi-threading and import workflows results in increased performance and faster updates for reference model workflows. In addition, reference model now supports the step neutral file format, meaning that step model can now be referenced into an Inventor assembly, and when the step file is updated, Inventor accounts for the design change in the manner similar to the other 3D model formats. You can now include DWG underlays in drawings and do the following. Add text and dimensions to annotate the DWG underlay geometry. You can easily manage the layer styles and line types. You can crop the DWG underlay to provide performance and remove unwanted data in part files. Cropping allows you to focus in the relevant areas of the design when you're working in a large DWG file. In addition, cropped underlay geometry in a part file displays this cropped geometry in the drawing view of the part. The location of a DWG underlay now associatively updates when the location of the DWG underlay's plane and/or insertion points change. You can also now easily reinsert the same DWG file into the part model. This is done as a new instance, which helps support and extend the use of AutoCAD DWG files in your Inventor workflow. Simply right-click on the desired DWG node in the browser and select the new context menu option, Add Instance.
AnyCAD technology has eliminated many of the translation and rework problems that you faced when using non-native data from your customers or suppliers in your designs. With Autodesk Inventor 2017, it's getting even better. With the latest release, AnyCAD now supports the neutral, industry-standard step file format, so designs can be exported from any CAD software as a step file, and you can place them into your 3D model without having to worry about translation issues or broken references if and when those models change. In addition to the geometry, file properties are referenced in and can be viewed in the iProperties window. If you override one of the referenced properties, it turns blue, so you can easily see what's been changed. And now, with the Value from Source option, the property information can always be reinstated from the original file. You also have more options when referencing DWG files into your designs. In addition to layer selection, you can now use the crop tool to remove any extraneous detail not needed for the design. Adding copies of DWG files with multiple views can now be done using the Add Instance command. You can then redefine the placement to get it in the correct orientation, which is now associative as well. So if the insertion plane or the point changes, the underlay moves along with it. And finally, you can now include reference DWG data in drawings as well as parts and assemblies, and any annotations or references you make will update if the original file changes. These enhancements to AnyCAD inside Inventor 2017 make it even easier to work with non-native design data, so you can work with anyone, anywhere, regardless of what CAD software they use.
Mesh data can be brought into Inventor and managed in the same way other 3D CAD data can be. Measure and section tools can be used on mesh faces. Mesh geometry can be selected and projected into sketches. The Fit Mesh Face command optionally allows users to convert a mesh face into a native Inventor surface, enabling the geometry to be edited downstream. Use the Constrain and Assemble commands to create relationships between the meshes and solids or surfaces. Mesh data can now be included in interference detection.
With its use in additive manufacturing and by many CAM applications, mesh part geometry is increasingly available for use in the design of your products. With Inventor 2017, you can work more efficiently with mesh components in either STL or OBJ format inside your existing part or assembly files. When incorporating mesh components into your assemblies, you can now constrain and pattern these objects similar to native geometry. And interference detection, measuring, and sectioning tools can all be used on mesh geometry to help you design parts in context. You can also use mesh data as an underlay for reverse engineering or as a reference for designing new parts. Reference planes, points, or axes can be created, and you can project geometry from the mesh object into 2D or 3D sketches. Also available is a new Fit Mesh Face tool that creates clean surfaces based on the selected mesh facets. Inventor can determine the type of surface to create automatically, or you can manually control how it's defined inside the dialog box. These new tools inside Inventor 2017 help you work more efficiently with mesh components inside assemblies and help you build editable models for use in your product designs.
Several new enhancements in Inventor 2017 make it faster and easier to collaborate. Collaborators and their feedback can now be reviewed and managed directly from inside Inventor. New controls permit you to share part properties and part names in addition to the model graphics for more detailed reviews.
Conducting a design review used to involve printing out a few drawings and getting everyone together for a meeting. Now, decisions have to be made fast, as the design is being worked on, and the people you need to collect feedback from may be anywhere around the world. Design shares inside Autodesk Inventor 2017 connect you with project stakeholders regardless of where they are, so you can instantly share your progress with manufacturing leads, marketing, or even customers using the cloud. When you create a design share, a lightweight 3D viewable is created of the model as it appears on your screen. Once you've specified the name, provided a description, and listed who you need to review the design, Inventor uploads the model to A360 and reviewers get an email notification. Upon receiving the invite, reviewers can view the design share inside a web browser or on a mobile device without having to download any additional software. Here they have access to typical viewing tools and can explode the model to see the various components that make up the product. They can also leave comments about the design that are stored centrally and are shared with everyone invited to the review. The Design Shares panel inside Inventor tracks every review you've created. You can manage access if you need to get more people involved, and read and respond to comments as they come in. All their feedback is available right inside your design environment, so you can get to work on making the necessary changes. Design shares inside Inventor 2017 eliminate the hassle typically involved with design reviews. No more emailing CAD files or asking people to download and install viewers. And all your feedback is consolidated into a single location with full history and traceability.
The presentations environment is enhanced to make your documentation creation tasks easier and faster. You can easily arrange components in exploded views for drawing creation and quickly create powerful and expressive animations. Snapshot views allow you to capture specific model, camera arrangements for use both in the drawing views and in raster image outputs. A new timeline-based story panel makes it easy to control and edit assembly sequences or movement. You can change the duration or the order of actions appearing in the animation.
Exploded views are an essential tool to clearly illustrate the included parts of complex assemblies. With the updated presentation environment inside Autodesk Inventor 2017, you can more quickly generate exploded views and animations for use in drawings, documentation, and assembly instructions to clearly communicate your design. Setting up the view is as simple as selecting the parts you want to position and using the tweak command to move each component exactly where you want it. Using the triad, you can push, pull, or rotate the selected objects, or use the dynamic input box for typing in precise dimensions. There are also options for adding trail lines or adjusting the opacity of objects in the view. As you move components around, each action is captured on a new timeline inside the storyboard panel. This visual representation in the storyboard clearly displays each sequence of movements and provides you control over the camera position and details of how each action will be displayed on the screen. You can create multiple storyboards to organize complex animations into shorter, more manageable segments, and each storyboard can be exported as an individual video clip or as part of a complete collection. You can now also capture static snapshots of different model arrangements and camera positions at any point in the storyboard that can be published as images or included in drawings. These snapshots are typically synchronized with the storyboard, so you can easily generate a sequence of images that capture every key step in the process. Autodesk Inventor 2017 makes it simple to create expressive animations and exploded views for your product documentation, manuals, and assembly instructions that clearly communicate how everything comes together.
Inventor 2017 can export your models in 3D PDF format, which can be viewed in Adobe Acrobat Reader. Select design view representations, model properties, and attachments to include, and use the Adobe Acrobat Reader to open the PDF files. You can also create a custom 3D PDF template to change arrangement of exported elements in the output files to better meet your needs.
There are many instances where 3D views of the product can clarify details and show complex spatial relationships between parts. 3D PDF publishing capabilities inside Autodesk Inventor 2017 provide a more modern approach to sharing design documentation that's viewable by anyone using the free and widely used Adobe Acrobat Reader. The primary function of the 3D PDF authoring tool is to convert your CAD model into a lightweight viewable that is embedded inside the PDF. It also provides options for including model properties, adding multiple design view representations, and including attachments such as step files or drawings. When you're ready to publish, you can select from one of the out-of-the-box templates or create a custom template using Acrobat Pro. Opening the 3D PDF in Acrobat Reader gives you tools to interact with the 3D model in much the same way you would in your design software. You can zoom, pan, and rotate the model, view the model tree as it was configured inside Inventor, and adjust the visibility of individual parts or subassemblies. If you exported multiple design view representations, you can select any of the views to display the corresponding model inside the window. 3D PDF files are also a useful medium for conducting design reviews. Recipients can use the measure tool to interrogate the model, and comments can be added to describe changes that need to be made. With both the 3D model and properties, more context can be provided inside the document so reviewers have all the information they need to provide feedback on your designs. With 3D PDF export inside Autodesk Inventor 2017, you can now create documentation that is rich in visual and product information that anyone can view, so you can be sure your design intent is always understood.
Thank you for watching this review of Autodesk Inventor 2017 Enhancements.